What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Atlantic Files, the number one podcast on the number one division in the NBA, brought to you by the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. As always, joined by your hosts, myself, Alex Fishbein, and I got Dennis Big Sexy Clausen here. What's going on, Dennis?
Did you just hear all that? That was fat guy movement again. I had to readjust myself.
It's all good. We get it. Everyone's got to readjust at least once in a while. You know what I mean?
Well, last week when I readjusted, it literally sounded like somebody fell. Like it was this big loud noise. So I just wanted to say, hey, it was just me moving my ass. And these microphones are so sensitive. I don't know how to, like, I've tried everything and they literally pick everything up. So
No, I know. Last time it just sounded like something was like crunching. Like as if you were like on
eating
top
something,
of like a can or something.
Well, it was my ass adjusting.
Oh, okay.
And my allergies are killing me right now. So if you hear like really heavy breathing more than normal, it's just. I took a Claritin. I took all this stuff, and we'll see what happens.
Dude, allergies have been ridiculous these past few days, especially in the Northeast, just because it's like went up to 60 today. It was like 30 yesterday. It's supposed to go back down to 40 tonight. But then like on Wednesday or Thursday, it's supposed to go back up to 70. My allergies have been ridiculous.
I can't take it. It's like pick one.
I know. You got to pick one and stick with it for a few months. I can't take the back and forth.
I kind of don't want winter to be over with yet, though. I feel like I didn't get my full winter experience.
True. I mean, it really wasn't as cold as winter normally is.
I mean, we still have some time left. We still have, at least where I'm at, we're due for about one day where we're going to get about at least 2 feet of snow overnight. So,
probably.
But my whole thing is like I'm the guy who hates everything. Like I hate things in the moment, so I ended up wanting for things that I will end up just hating and want the other thing back.
Right.
So, for example, like I spent the entire winter saying, God, this is so depressing. It's dark. It's cold as shit. There's salt all over the place, dust. It's cold, icicles. Got a shovel and all this stupid shit. And I just wait for it to be nice. And then the next thing you know, it starts getting nice. And I'm pissed off because I want winter back because I just want to stay inside and watch TV all day.
Right. No, that, like, I always am like, all right, I like a good day of snow. I like a nice little, not a crazy blizzard, but I like a little bit of snow. And then the snow finally happens, and then it just makes everything more difficult. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't want this much snow. Just a tiny bit of snow.
Yeah, but in Syracuse, it's like we get a foot of snow. It's like nothing.
True.
It's nothing. When the people in Buffalo, they got like 4 feet of snow. Barely missed us, but we were like, yeah, bring it on, whatever. We can do that.
It's just another snow day for you guys.
It really is. Nothing changes. It just hasn't sound. I like the whole like Thanksgiving time. I like Christmas. I like the tree. I like watching basketball. I love watching late night West Coast games during the holiday season, like Thursday night games when like the Kings and the Trailblazers are playing on TNT, and right. I love that.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
The Kings don't get on TNT. How about the Lakers and the Warriors?
Yeah, there you go. That's they're usually on there 50,000 times.
The Clippers and the Warriors, the Clippers and the Lakers and the Clippers, the Lakers and the Nuggets. Like it's all these same. The Warriors and the Nuggets. You might get Trailblazers every once in a while, but other than that, you're not really getting much else unless you get to the League Pass.
Right. Sometimes you get Phoenix, but they're not like. I don't think they're full West Coast time. They're like 1 hour ahead of West Coast time, I think.
Yeah, you might get a little Phoenix action in there, but I feel like the Phoenix window is closing, and it doesn't matter that the Lakers are like. They could finish 20 and 42, but yet they're still going to get that primetime slot. not only will they get a Thursday night slot, but they'll also get Friday night national TV, and then they might even get Sunday at like 3 p.m. on ABC.
Right. No, it's ridiculous. Even though they're fighting to even get a play-in spot, let alone a playoff spot.
I would like it if they just said, coming up tonight on TNT, the Orlando Magic are in action. I'd shit my pants.
One day. One day. By the way, it sounds like there's some like tapping going on around you. I don't know what that is. It sounds like something's like maybe shaking or tapping.
Is it done?
It is now, yeah.
I got this new refrigerator.
Oh, okay.
And this thing is like, it's not one of those, remember when people just use refrigerators just to keep shit cold?
Right.
We're well beyond that now at this point. I think this thing may be alive. It might be planning on taking over the world because it makes noises. It has all these settings, and it just does what it wants. I just let it do it. As long as it keeps my Italian ice frozen, we're good.
True. Yeah, I mean,
all
now
the
they're
noise at
making
once.
smart fridges and everything. It's like, I don't need to text somebody on the fridge. That's what I have a phone for.
And I don't even want to do that.
Exactly. And on top of that, I never have been in a situation where I'm like, okay, I'm reaching into the fridge, but wait, I need to text somebody and I don't have my phone on me. I've never been in that situation.
We got a problem in society if that's where we're at, to where we're going to make a sandwich and we gotta respond to a text.
Exactly. Like,
not for
nobody
nothing.
needs to know something that fast.
No, if I'm throwing down like a boar's head bologna sandwich on like pumpernickel and some Swiss cheese with Gulden's mustard, I don't need to fucking text a single person
Exactly.
because
You
you
need to
ain't
just
that
enjoy
important to
that
me.
meal.
In my case, 3 of them.
Yep. Speaking of enjoyment, there wasn't much enjoyment this past weekend.
Well, there was just
I mean, maybe if there was plenty of pumpernickel sandwiches, then
like
there's probably some enjoyment this past
like
week.
Naked and Afraid. It was on. I was watching that.
True. I mean, I got drunk on Friday night at this local distillery, so that was fun. Then went and got like bottomless mimosas on Sunday, so that was fun.
I
But anytime
shaved. I got a new razor. I got a good
oh, there you
shave.
go. A good shave is always a great feeling.
Yeah, and I mean we're real smooth under here. I went out and got a new razor,
Okay.
and so I got to look forward to it. So I got it, washed it, got it all hot down there, and put the Barbasol on and rubbed it in, and then started going to work. And so yeah, that was a good thing.
That's
Um,
that's the way to do it right there.
yeah, got to
I
sleep in a
mean,
little bit. Other than that, there wasn't nothing else going on.
I will say also Saturday was a great eating day for me. I had some McDonald's breakfast. Uh I had some Indian food. I also had some fried chicken. I mean, I was just going to town on Saturday.
You must have shit your brains out.
Oh, I did. But it
Yeah.
was worth it.
What'd you get at McDonald's breakfast? McGriddle?
Uh, yeah, got a nice sausage egg McGriddle and then 3 hash browns. Because I was slightly hungover, so the hash browns were perfect, exactly what I needed.
Right.
And then I got like Indian wise, I always get either butter chicken or chicken kadai, so those were amazing.
Mm.
And then there was one point we got we also got Domino's on Sunday.
There you
Got us
go.
got us a nice little chicken bacon ranch pizza with some of the cinnamon twists with the icing dipping cups. Oh yeah.
Calm down. Tell my penis to relax.
That's where it's at right there.
See,
But anyway,
that's what I'm talking about. The Indian food. I'm married to an Arabic girl, so I don't. I eat enough of
I got
that category of things that aren't pizza.
you. No, it makes sense. I mean, I didn't even start eating Indian food until I had some coworkers that showed me what it was. Like because I when I would look at it, I'd be like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm looking at here. So once they showed me what the dishes were and like the good ones, I was like, okay, now I can get into some Indian food here.
There's still nothing better than pizza though, because goddamn, whenever I hear we're gonna get pizza and wings, I get so fucking pumped up. It's not even funny.
Oh hell, that's one of the
Um,
best parts of Super Bowl Sunday.
yeah, I don't. There's nothing good about Super Bowl Sunday.
Well, I just mean the pizza and the wings part.
Yeah, I guess.
But anyway, I say all that to say we're talking about all those parts of the weekend because the NBA All-Star parts of the weekend were boring as fuck. I didn't even watch Friday night because I didn't even care. And usually I like the Rising Stars stuff, but with the new format and everything, I don't give a fuck. I much prefer the old rookie versus sophomore type of format, even though again, like it's not like they were really competing all that much out there or anything. But yeah, didn't watch Friday night at all. A lot of the celebrities, I don't even know who the fuck they are anyway, so I didn't really care for that. And then yeah, I didn't watch the Rising Stars. Did you watch Friday at all?
I didn't watch shit. I didn't watch Friday. Had zero interest. I was actually watching hockey on
Oh
Friday.
wow.
I was watching the Rangers. The Rangers had a back to back. They went up to. They had two overtime games. They won the. I think they played Edmonton. I think on Friday night they won the game. In a shootout. And then they
Okay.
played Calgary. They lost to Calgary in overtime. So that's what I was watching. Saturday, you texted me. I totally forgot the 3-point contest was on. Not even interested in that by any means. I don't understand the criteria for making it into the 3-point contest. I think it just might be like people who just want to do it. But we're like, why don't we have the guys who actually are shooting like the most efficiently throughout the season? Why don't we put them in there?
I think the criteria at first, before they start asking if they want to do it or not, is total amount of threes made in the season up to that point. I think.
But you're telling, like, how can you have a 3-point contest and not have Utah Watanabe in there?
They
How can
should
you not
have.
have Joe Harris? Joe Harris won last year. He can't, try to. Joe Harris you can't hit anything right now, but at least he gets to be in there and defend
The
his title.
the fact they put Julius Randle in there was absurd. I was
Right.
like, why? Like Markkinen in there was one thing. Like, all right, Markkinen can shoot, and I mean Markkinen, he's part of the host team. So I was like, whatever. He's part of the Jazz, but Randall, while yes, he's hit some threes this season, like we really couldn't get anybody better. You couldn't have even at least just taken like Colin Sexton or Jordan Clarkson, who were already there. You couldn't
Right.
have just taken them and thrown them in there. And Muhammad says hi. What's going on, Muhammad? Thank you for tuning
Muhammad,
in.
what up?
Appreciate it. Um,
But I guarantee you, though, if you walked up to anybody, Damian Lillard doesn't need to be there.
No.
You got enough shit going on.
oh, for sure.
Some of these guys would just be so happy to just be included. If you walked up to Utah Watanabe and you were like, "Hey, what are you doing All Star Weekend?" He's probably sitting at home petting his cat or something. Like he probably has nothing going on. You could,
Should we do? I feel like one year it should be like have the regular 3-point competition with all the best 3-point shooters, but then have one with all the worst 3-point shooters.
okay. You see, now that would make it interesting. Why don't
right?
we just have a free throw competition of the shittiest guys at shooting free throws?
That could be something. You get like Ben Simmons, Andre Drummond,
Giannis.
Giannis, Claxton.
That would be amazing. I would tune into that in about 2 seconds. Honestly, I would
Right,
love that.
and it's and so this is part of the thing that I thought was dumb was so I was listening to JJ Redick's podcast and he was talking about how why some of the young superstars don't do the dunk contest. And a lot of them he feels is because now with the internet, how like whenever somebody does something bad or dumb or whatever, they get memes about them. They get all this stuff. All these videos live on. They make up all this stuff and things like that. These guys don't want to be in that sort of spotlight. And I'm like, look, you're in that spotlight every fucking game. If you do something dumb in game, you even get made fun of by the TV network that the game is on when it comes on Shacked in a Fool.
Right. But here's the thing now. I think we're at the point with a lot of things in life, especially with the internet. Like, the internet ruined a lot of things because there are guys, amateurs, doing far more cool shit than the people are doing at the dunk contest. So you have guys like jumping over buildings and, walking across a steel beam 100 stories in the air. You have people jumping out of shit. Like, there's really nothing left that is going to impress anybody. So I think we're finally at the point now where how many different how many times do you watch somebody jump over somebody?
Right.
In a slam dunk contest? I don't care if you put 2 people on.
Right.
And they're acting like that was a great. I'm like, we've seen this 800 times already. It is time to get rid of the dunk contest. And actually, it's time to get rid of everything, unless we're going to bring the free throw competition in, which would be awesome.
Like that, and then like we were just saying too, like the worst 3-point shooters in the 3-point contest, just to see who can at least make a couple.
Right.
Like something just different, because the skills competition too was so stupid.
I don't even know what they do in the skills competition. They throw the ball into that net.
Well, so
they dribble around a couple cones.
At first, I kind of liked how it was at first, where it was like 2 guys going head to head, and you were like racing each other, where you had to do the chest pass into the net, you weave through, you hit a layup, and then you come back, you weave through, you do like a bounce pass, and then you have to hit a 3.
I mean, wait a second. I'm not scared to admit I've never watched the skills competition because I do not give 2 shits. It doesn't sound appealing to me at all. It's a waste of my time. You're telling me for one, what you just described sounded horrible. You're telling me it's got worse?
Yes, it got worse.
Wow.
Wow. At least, because when you had the guys going one-on-one, you were watching them race. So it was like, they actually had a little bit of a competition because they weren't going to get hurt. They weren't doing anything super high intense or anything like that. All you had to do was chest pass, weave through some cones, bounce pass, layup, come back, hit a 3. That's all you had to do. And you had to beat the guy you're going against, and it kept going until it went down to 2 people and they raced against each other.
Okay. I have some ideas. I'm going to fix All-Star Weekend right now. Okay.
All right. But hold on. I have to tell you how it got worse.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So now...
Not that I don't want to kill myself already talking about this, but,
I know. So now it was 3 teams of 3. It was the Antetokounmpo brothers, but since Giannis was out, Drew took his place. And then it was the Rooks, which ended up being Banchero, Jabari, and...
yeah, one of them.
Ivy. Yeah, Jaden Ivey. And then the other one was the Utah Jazz, because they were the hosts. So it was Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, and Colin Sexton. Now,
I'm upset I missed this.
The first round was just shooting. Or no, sorry. The first round was actually what I just told you. They still had the whole the chest pass into the net, weave through the cones, floater, and then like do it coming back the other way, and then you relayed it to the next guy. So you did all three people went, and whoever had the lowest amount of time won that round, and you get like 100 points. Second round was shooting. They had stickers on the court for like 1 point, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rookies got 1 whole point. They ended up giving them 2 for some technicality or something. They made 1 fucking shot in a minute and a half.
The governing body of the skills competition.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the skills competition athletic commission.
Exactly. But they made 1 shot the whole time. And I'm like, you don't even have to hit threes. You can literally just hit a floater. Like, you can bank it from the paint and you get a point. And then the other one was a passing competition where the big, like, nets, they were moving side to side or moving back and forth. And one station it had to be a chest pass, one station it had to be a bounce pass.
Sorry, falling asleep here. This sounds so boring.
And that's it. It was just those 3 rounds.
This sounds like the stupidest thing ever.
It was. The whole time.
I know the premise of the skills competition. I knew they were doing stupid shit like that. I didn't know like how in depth. Like, I don't know anything about it. I don't care. It's stupid.
Right. I almost preferred the thing they did years ago where they had those teams of 3 and it was a WNBA, a retired player, and a current player, and you had to hit the layup, the 3, and the half court shot.
All right. Well, you just gave me another idea too. But I honestly would rather watch Mike and I go to the Chinese buffet, get a couple plates, and then try to balance our plates with our ice cream on the way back to a table, and you could judge.
I would too. That
would
like
whoever drops it first has to go back and fill up on fried rice. You know what I mean? Like, that would be fun. But here's how we're gonna fix the All-Star game. Like, I've just fixed it right now. Tell me you want to watch this, okay?
Okay.
That free throw competition we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the rookies/sophomores versus retired guys. But I'm not talking like Charles Barkley at 60. I'm talking like Mike Bibby, like those kind of, like the guys who could still play.
Like the ones who joined the big 3 because they still want to do something.
Yeah, like they could still play, and if you called them, they might be able to give you like a 10-day contract. Like Joe Johnson, like that kind of group. So we'll do the 3-point or the free throw competition. We'll do the rookies and the sophomores versus the aged out veterans.
Okay.
And then we'll do the WNBA All-Stars versus the NBA All-Stars. And if the WNBA All-Stars win, then they get the salary for all those players for the rest of the season.
Damn, that would be high stakes for WNBA would be hustling.
Well, I'm saying they want to get paid. If you want to get paid, go out and be. I guarantee you those girls would be putting 10 trillion times more effort than we saw on Sunday. I'll tell you that.
Oh, hell. If you told them you go out win this game, you can get paid like LeBron or any of those guys, hell yeah, they're going all out. They're going harder than they did for their own championship game.
Yeah. But you got to incentivize the pros to like play. So you'd have to have like, you'd have to say if you win, then you get to save a dying kid from leukemia, or it's going to go to this children's hospital. That way, if they turn it down, they're going to look like assholes.
Right. Well, that's the thing. So right now, whoever wins the quarter, like each quarter, they get $100,000 to whatever charity that the NBA
That's
picks.
chump change. $100,000.
I know it should be more.
It should be $1 million.
Yeah.
So say, okay, here's what's going to happen. If you guys win, your money that you would have, which would be, we'll take millions of dollars that's going to come out of your salary. We'll
Right.
give it to the children's hospital. And it doesn't matter, though, if you're selected to the All-Star team, if you're hurt, whatnot, if you don't play, that's fine, but your money's still in there. So your money's still at stake, so you better get in there. And
Right.
then the women, if the women win, then they get the salaries for the rest of the, the remaining salary for that player for the rest of the year. I guarantee. And of course, maybe give the girls like 20 points. Not that I'm saying women aren't talented. I'm just saying, like, let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
But imagine, like, if you put, like, Brianna Stewart, Brittany Griner, Jonquel Jones,
Diana Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, like, even if they're retired, like, you put all these great women basketball players and you put them up against, like, I would totally be on board with that.
Oh, yeah. I would, too. I would also like, even if you did, like, G League versus NBA, or, like, or bring in, how there's always that big conversation in football where it's like, oh, Alabama could beat the worst team in the
Perfect.
in the NFL. Bring in the best college team, or even the college all-stars, and put them up against the NBA all-stars.
The G League Ignite.
Or the G League
So
Ignite,
there's
or like
4 events
whatever.
right there. I guarantee if they did those 4 events, the NBA All-Star game would go through the roof. The ratings through the roof.
Oh, yeah. And the last thing I would add is, this one's been kicked around a little bit, but like a one-on-one tournament where you just have the guy, all it is one-on-one, first to 3, and each game you are putting up some of your own money into that game. So if you keep winning, you keep getting everyone else's money. But if you lose, you're out. Let's just say, make it like $5,000, because it would be a tournament, so there'd be a lot more than just the straight up 5,000. But like, the one-on-one thing would be cool because you're watching NBA players who should just be unstoppable, and then you might actually get some defense for once.
Well, why don't we just find some of these guys, like, in Compton and Harlem and, all
the
these
street ball
places.
guys.
Let's bring these guys in and have them play for a shot at $1 million and have them play some pros. There's 5 things you could do that would automatically make things way more interesting.
Yep. And the only thing that I like, so Mac McClung for the dunk contest, it was cool. Like, he had some, it was refreshing at least to just not see, like, literally the same. Jericho Sims literally did the same exact dunk twice in a row in the same contest. And in the second one, all he did was they put a little envelope on the net, and he took it off the net, and he opened it, and it was a 50, and he ended up getting like a 46. Like, the fact that you tried to give yourself a 50 and the dunk sucked itself, and you just did the same dunk the dunk before, and all the players, how when the players are watching, if a dunk is even remotely good, they go crazy.
Yeah, but it's like that. I feel like it's like, what are you going crazy about?
No, I know, but that's the thing. They didn't even move. They didn't make a face. They didn't move a muscle when Jericho Sims did his dunk. So if you literally had a dunk so bad that nobody even fake got excited,
right?
You don't belong there.
The whole thing is corny.
Oh, completely agree.
If you want to wrap up this, wonderful section of Saturday night, and you want to move on to Sunday.
Yes.
I mean, first off, Sunday was like the first Sunday without football. All right. So I was already in a fucking shit mood as it is. Not that I wanted to see the Chiefs cheat their way to a Super Bowl title, but,
right.
At least it was football. At least you had a little something.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the XFL, the Sea Dragons versus whoever. I don't even know who the hell they were playing. The Commanders, I think. I have no idea.
As an aside, we can talk about this later or now. It doesn't matter. But some of the rules that the XFL came up
It's
with
cool.
is really cool, and I kind of wish the NFL did some of them.
Well, they'll steal it.
I hope so. Like
But I hope the XFL sticks around.
the 3-point conversion is cool, and then the thing, instead of an onside kick, if you convert a 4th and 15, you get the ball back.
Yeah,
I thought that
so.
was a really good idea, but
So, I mean, I'm not a huge racing guy, but I watched Daytona. I got a little excited for Daytona just because.
I've been getting into Formula One a little because my brother's a big fan.
Yeah, Formula One's no joke either. So you're watching, like, I'm waking up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, Daytona's over, which lasted about 7 hours. It felt like. Let me put this All-Star game on, and I watched it probably in 2 minutes, and I'm like, I gotta get off this thing. I watched most of it, which was I started watching it when they were picking teams, right? And this entire process was the stupidest thing ever because they had Giannis and LeBron going back and forth. For one, not to be an asshole, I cannot understand a word Giannis is saying. I love him; looks like a nice guy. I just don't know what the fuck he's saying. LeBron sounds like a buffoon. I have no idea. So then we start off, and I don't know what the criteria is for drafting and how they came up with their teams. But their first pick, Giannis picked Damian Lillard. Okay, that's all right. I'll take that. Then LeBron counters by taking Anthony Edwards. Okay, I mean that's fine. But then after that, Giannis picked Drew Holiday. Then it went to Jaylen Brown. Then Giannis picked Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm like, wait a second. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander got picked up. Jaylen Brown went before Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And then we had Paul George go to Team Giannis, or Team LeBron. Then DeMar DeRozan went to Team Giannis. And then back there they went to Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. And I'm like, wait a second. DeMar DeRozan just got picked ahead of Pascal Siakam, Julius Randle, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and the fact that Domantas Sabonis was the 13th guy picked out of the 14 available reserves is a fucking joke. And I thought, okay, it was reserves, so maybe they'll get their shit together as the starting crew. All right, so now they pick the starters. So LeBron picks Joel Embiid. Okay, great pick. All right. Giannis counters, picks up Jason Tatum. Okay, I see that. Then LeBron, here we go, picks his boy, Kyrie Irving. The crowd goes nuts. And I'm like, this is the cheesiest thing I've ever seen. Kyrie Irving comes out, he's got this big, stupid smile on his face. Him and LeBron, like, do this stupid handshake. Like, they're all of a sudden they're buddies again, even though they didn't hate, it's like they never hated each other when they were playing in Cleveland. Giannis counters and takes John Morant, which, okay, we got 4 guys who are now just picked over Luka Doncic, who was picked 5th.
And Jokic.
By LeBron. Jokic was the second to last guy picked.
I know.
You took LeBron took Nikola Jokic at 7. The only guy who went after him was Markkanen. And I'm like, wait a second, you picked, like Donovan Mitchell, he's okay, but you picked Tatum, Irving, Morant over Luka and Nikola Jokic? You picked Paul George and DeMar DeRozan over Domantas Sabonis? Are we trying to win? That makes me convinced like you're not trying to win. So you got Domantas Sabonis was picked 13th out of 14 players out of the reserves, but yet Paul George, DeMar DeRozan, and fucking Drew Holiday went 3. I'm like, come on. Stupid.
I'm still just... I still just don't understand why Drew Holiday was an all-star. Like, no disrespect to Drew Holiday, but with all those players out there, we're saying Drew is up there with the best of them?
Right.
And on top of that, it was already dumb that the whole reason they started picking reserves before the starters was so that people didn't get their feelings hurt for being picked last. Somebody still gets picked last.
I mean, when you saw the look on Jaren Jackson's face, he didn't even wait to be called. He just got up and walked.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what order it's in. He's still technically the last guy picked.
And on top of that, Jaren Jackson, Rudy Gobert, those guys are always going to be picked last in the All-Star game because nobody plays fucking defense. They are in the All-Star game because of defense first, and then their offensive game is all right. But of course they're not going to be picked. A, nobody's looking for big blocks and things like that. B, there is no defense played in general. C, who is actually sitting there like, oh, I really wanted to see Jaren Jackson put up 40 points at the All-Star game? Nobody.
And before anybody accuses me, because I know how the internet is, I'm not just saying all the white guys should have been first, but I mean, come on, Luka, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, they're two of the best players in the league.
Two of the best players. And like, okay, like, Domantas Sabonis gets picked 10 spots after Drew Holiday, and Jaylen Brown goes before Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Paul George is getting picked before Pascal Siakam and Julius Randle and Bam Adebayo.
And Gilgeous-Alexander is like the third or fourth leading scorer in the league right now.
MVP conversation.
Yeah. It's just, and it's ridiculous that, like, and I guess you could present the argument of, like, the European players really don't give a fuck about the All-Star game. They don't even care to be in the actual game. Because a lot of the time, like, these last few years that Luka's been in it, he's essentially just sat the bench because he does not care about a game that nobody's trying for. There's no stakes. There's nothing to really get out of it other than, you know, you just fuck around and maybe throw up some points and people talk about how boring the game is. Like, there literally is, other than the fact that you are named an all-star, there is nothing to gain from playing in this game at all.
It's just guys who have to go to Salt Lake when they want to just take 7-8 days off.
Exactly. And that's why Jimmy Butler, when they were like, oh, are you upset that you got snubbed from the All-Star game? He's like, I don't give a fuck.
I could take a week off.
Yeah, exactly. I can go to a all-inclusive resort, drink all day, and sit by the pool while these guys play a game that doesn't mean shit.
That asshole, though, some of these guys need to, like, be productive with their time away. Jimmy Butler is one of them. That's like Bradley Beal going, like, did you get a massage? Did you get stretched? Did you rest? Did you do anything? And Bradley Beal going, no, I went jet skiing. And, like, bro, you can't even stay healthy. Yeah. It's like, bro, you can't even stay healthy. And all of a sudden now you're all of a sudden you could be active, even though during the season you can't be active. But now that you're on the All-Star break, you're going to Cabo or Puerto Rico or wherever the fuck you guys go during the NBA season. And now all of a sudden it's, so, like, I get it, but some of these guys got to be a little bit more mindful of how they're spending their All-Star break instead of just worrying about going to Mexico or Puerto Rico or South America or Iceland or wherever the hell they want to go, because, if that's the case, if you're arrested and everything, then you should come back and not miss a game for the rest of the year.
Right. Yeah, I just don't understand that. Like, I get wanting a break and, like, going on vacation and things like that. And that was another thing that, like, when I was listening to JJ Redick's podcast, that he talked about how a lot of guys like Jimmy Butler will just opt out and go on vacation because all they want is, like, a break to just break up the monotony of a season. And it's like, for sure, I get wanting to, have a little time off in between. And that's why they also extended the All-Star break. Like, usually teams would start playing again on by like Tuesday, but now it's Thursday when they're playing this
Yeah,
time.
but do
So,
these guys realize though that the amount of bitching that they're doing lately, like they don't look good at all. Like
oh yeah,
the mainstream appeal for modern day NBA players is gone.
I know.
Like these guys are so pampered and entitled. You can't relate to the normal guy anymore.
No.
I mean, remember guys like Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer and Isaiah Dennis Rodman? Like, you could at least relate to these guys in some way.
Well, yeah, I mean, Larry Bird was mowing his lawn before a game, so.
Yeah, like Larry Bird looked just like a guy he just sold a used car and now he's going to play. Isaiah Thomas, grew up in Indiana and all this Indiana, right? I think it was. Hey, who cares?
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was. So, but you got all these guys. At least they were semi-relatable. Can I relate to LeBron? No. He makes $1 trillion a year.
Right.
He complains about everything. He's corny as fuck. When him and at least Giannis tried to speak English, which is the reason why he tried. I give it to him. He's a likable guy. You can't really dislike Giannis. LeBron goes up there and I feel like he's trying to be Steve Harvey and crack jokes.
Right.
And then poor Pascal Siakam, he's from Cameroon, can barely speak English, even though he tried his best. But like when people, from other countries, they speak and they kind of sound like they're retarded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not because he is dumb. It's just because he's speaking a completely different language where syllables and all this stuff are completely different.
And the English language can look pretty stupid a lot.
The English language is garbage. All these stupid rules. But anyways, they bring this guy up here. He introduces somebody. He goes, the All-Star game is fire. And I'm like, for one, what does that mean? Like, I guess the kids are saying it. But then two, he introduces this guy, and I couldn't even tell you who he introduced, but I know he's the worst fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Oh, Post Malone?
No, not Post Malone. Post Malone's actually talented.
Okay.
But then there was this other guy. He came out. I was like, holy shit. And then they had the Queen of Art, the Queen of Canada coming out and singing something.
Oh, yeah.
Then they had Jewel. Like, Jewel, honey, you look good. You look fantastic. Like, I'm not throwing her out of bed, but, I mean, she doesn't
I didn't even know who that was.
You don't know who Jewel is?
No.
Oh, my God, bro.
Is she a country singer?
No, she was, like... You've heard her stuff. You just don't know that she sang it. Let's just put it that way.
I got you.
Beautiful girl, but it's like, Jewel, come on. Like, hey, you're sexy as fuck. Your teeth are a little fucked up, but I'm still into it. But yeah, the whole thing was stupid. They had a stage. They brought the kids in, which was nice. Like these kids who were like special needs and all this stuff, which is always beautiful. And I love watching like celebrities or athletes like be nice to kids like that because that's what they're fucking supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that part was good, but the entire thing was just corny, stupid. And poor Ernie Johnson's up there, like, bow tie and all.
I will say the commentary was pretty fun at times because you had like Draymond Green talking shit and Reggie Miller like still in his like. You know how like announcers have to be nice and politically correct and everything. So Reggie Miller would say something nice, and Draymond Green was like, "Reggie, shut up!" Like that was garbage.
Well, the Van Gundys never got that memo because they're never pleasant either.
Well, true.
So, and Reggie at least has some balls to him. Like he still got that. Like I'm still better than you are. Like I could still play better than you, even though he's about 96. But. You got Chuck and Shaq, which is always fantastic. Kevin Harlan's one of the best ever.
Kenny's always funny.
Kenny's great. Ernie Johnson's a sweetheart. He's one of the greatest ever. And so there were some couple good things, but that All-Star game sucks. The whole thing sucks.
It was so bad that in my living room, we have an 75-inch TV. I had the game on my phone on the coffee table just to see like what the score was.
I don't even know who won. Can you tell me that?
Team Giannis won.
I had no clue until just now. I swear to God, I didn't even check because I didn't even care.
Yeah, Team Giannis won. And Jason Tatum broke the single All-Star game points record with 55. He beat Anthony Davis's record from a few years back. And I was like...
Who won MVP?
Jason Tatum.
Okay. All right.
But I was like, cool, what does that get you? Nobody goes back to look who scored the most points in an All-Star game unless they're bored during an All-Star game. Otherwise, nobody gives a fuck.
That's something you look up if you're at work and it's Friday at about 2:27 p.m. and you're bored. You're like, I'm going to go to Basketball Reference and see who the All-Star Game MVPs are.
Exactly. Or it's something that's in like a trivia question.
Right.
But other than that, nobody's using that argument to say one player is better than the other or anything. And that was another thing is like these All-Star, like the only thing All-Star is used for is like a tiny accolade. Like you can say like, oh, this guy was an 11-time All-Star. Nobody cares what he did in any All-Star game. Nobody cares if he competed in any All-Star competition from Friday through Sunday. All they care about is that he was named an All-Star. So even then, playing in the All-Star game, again, doesn't mean shit unless the players just take it as an actual competition like they used to. Because then you get the bragging rights, you play your ass off. I mean, some of those guys genuinely just hated each other, which is part of why they competed. But
but that's what I say. Everybody's too kissy these days.
I agree.
Everybody's boys, Yep.
That's
why it's reassuring though when people fight.
True.
Like I like to see that. Like we had two fights in a row. We had the Mitchell Dillon Brooks fight, which is fantastic, and then that got followed up with the Orlando and I can't even remember
Austin Rivers.
Yeah, the Austin Rivers fight. I love that shit. Like that's reassuring to me.
I do too.
It shows when somebody actually gives a fuck.
Like in the offseason when DeJounte Murray and Banchero got into it.
Yep, love it.
Yeah, like get those rivalries going. Like that was when Kevin Durant and Joel Embiid were chirping at each other the whole time when the Nets played the Sixers. Like that even if it didn't amount into a fight, like at least talk some shit and like get into a heated competitive game.
Yeah, nobody does that anymore for the most part. Even though Dillon Brooks is is an asshole, at least I can respect the fact that he's making things difficult for people. Right. I can respect that.
I agree. Muhammad said the reason why the All-Star game is full of trash because Steph Curry was injured. I mean, Steph Curry would have been fun to watch because all it was jacking threes, but I don't know if that's the sole reason.
Yeah, I love you, Muhammad, but come on, honey.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, me personally, the only part that I enjoyed was Mac McClung because it was cool seeing a G League guy come in there. Like, I know he just got signed to a 2-way contract right before that, but he's pretty much still a G League guy. And, breathe some new life into the dunk contest at least a little bit. Because, I mean, the dunk contest was getting pretty bad. Then it hit the Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon dunk contest. There's nothing after that that's going to be as good as that. Unless you start adding like trampolines or just like professional dunkers that, are on YouTube and everything. It's just not going to get better.
You can watch TikTok and still get better stuff than you're getting these days. Exactly. Back then things were cool. It's because, like I said, social media ruined everything. And, now here we are.
Yep. Well, that's enough about that snooze fest.
Yeah, we just spent 50 minutes talking about that.
I know, because we had a lot of bitching to do.
And what's sad is I could keep going.
I know, seriously. I could pick apart every single piece of the All
Because
Star.
it's corny. If you could use one word, it's corny.
Yes. The I would
Stupid.
sum it all up by saying corny and useless because it's really
A
useless.
waste of fucking time.
Yes. So in actual basketball news, Russell Westbrook
Thank God.
headed to the Clippers. I agree. Thank God he didn't choose Chicago.
No, I mean, thank God we're talking about actual basketball.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. But I said this last week that I hope he didn't go to Chicago because Chicago doesn't have a shot to do anything this year. They really don't.
Which I'm going to throw out there. Did you see what I sent you about Lonzo Ball?
Yes, that he still isn't like cutting or anything like that. So
And they
he's
were talking
probably
about
not gonna
shutting
come
him
back.
down, which is what
Yeah.
I've been saying for months.
Which at this point, what? There's 27 games left or something around there.
Chicago ain't doing anything. Shut this fucking guy down. He doesn't need to come
Exactly.
back.
Even if you make the playoffs, throwing in Lonzo Ball isn't going to win you the championship.
Right.
So, but Russell Westbrook going to the Clippers, I think it's a great addition for the Clippers. I mean, especially since they lose Reggie Jackson, they need a point guard. Russell Westbrook already has great chemistry with Paul George from their OKC days. Now you throw him in the mix with Kawhi as well. Terrence Mann has been playing well. Norm Powell has been playing decent off the bench. You got Zubats, who's playing well as for their center.
Mason Plumlee.
Mason Plumlee off the bench as well. You got Marcus Morris, who's been doing a good job at the power forward. I mean, the Clippers they're looking decent as long as they're staying healthy, which at right now they are. I mean,
Yeah, that won't last.
they could make some noise.
But can I ask you a question, though? And do you find it's a little coincidental? And we've talked about tampering and all this stuff. But why is it that John Wall gets dealt back to Houston? And why is it that Reggie Jackson got cut and now is going to Denver? Why is that?
I don't know. I guess.
Do you not find this a little suspicious?
I mean, I will say too, after all this happened, they coincidentally asked Paul George about Russell Westbrook before he was officially bought out.
What's that one thing where the guy he goes, "That's suspicious. That's weird."
Yep.
I don't know what that is, but
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, that's weird. That's suspicious. That is good. Hey, you want to know something though? If I love Russell Westbrook, I absolutely love him. I don't. I've said a lot of bad things about a lot of players. I don't think there's been one player that I haven't shit on at least once. I don't think I've ever said anything negative about Russell Westbrook. I love Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is the epitome of cutthroat, killer, wants to win, plays hard, plays through injuries, doesn't get hurt, is a team guy. He's fantastic. He's one of the best players to ever play. And I pray to God that he goes to the Clippers and he starts averaging close to a triple-double in Los Angeles. That way, when he comes in the people in LA, they said, no shit. If we still had him on that, for one, he even have to move because he stayed in LA,
True.
which works out for him.
Works out
I
perfectly.
pray to God. Russell Westbrook, even if it means the Clippers are going to win the title, but if Russell Westbrook, I just want him to play well. I'm rooting for him to play well because fuck the Lakers, fuck their bullshit of trying to blame everybody else, but how just stupid everything is in that organization. We're going to blame Frank Vogel. We're going to blame Russell Westbrook. We're going to blame everybody else. And I'm not even blaming LeBron in LA, believe it or not. I'm not blaming LeBron at all. I'm blaming Anthony Davis. I'm blaming all the stupid decisions that were made to not put shooting on that team. I'm criticizing the lack of depth and all the stupid, letting Horton Tucker go a couple of years ago, which, Horton Tucker's starting to kind of turn things around a little bit. Letting him go when he was playing great. Not even thinking twice about keeping Alex Caruso. You're starting Wendy Gabriel at times. Like, give me a break. And you're wondering why your team sucks. Well, your leading option is LeBron, who's 38 years old, is playing fantastic. That guy looks like he has another 10 more years.
Seriously.
Left in him, at least. All right. If you look at a longevity standpoint and just how healthy LeBron didn't start breaking down until this year, and I don't even think that's because he can't play. It's just because he's taking it easy at 38. I can understand that. If anybody's earned that right, it's LeBron James. If you
After spending over half your life in the NBA, he earned it.
He's been in the NBA more than he hasn't been in the NBA. Right. So if you look at a guy from a longevity standpoint, LeBron may be the greatest ever from a longevity standpoint. I'm not doing anything cute or stupid with that. I'm just talking longevity.
Right.
With that said, I blame AD. That guy can never stay healthy. He had to be convinced a little bit that when he started the season off, he was in the MVP conversation. He was shit hot. He had to be a little convinced.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm the fucking fool for falling for that because he missed like a month.
Yep.
LA is complete garbage. The Lakers. And I'm not a big Kawhi guy. I'm not a big Paul George guy. However, Kawhi at least he's just never healthy, but he's not like, it's not that you dislike him because he's just a weird guy. He's just quiet. He's not. Paul George is Paul George. I mean, he's been around forever. I think he's a little bit overhyped still at his age. But now that
weird.
He's also kind of weird. But now that Russell Westbrook is on that team, I am so just. I'm intrigued. I want to see what's going to happen. I hope Russell Westbrook goes back and averages close to a triple-double. Fuck all those guys.
I mean, the other thing with, like, Kawhi, too, is he has a proven track record of being really fucking good and winning championships. So when he is healthy, he's a fun player to watch because he's also one of those superstars that is just super fucking good on both sides of the ball. And anymore,
top 5 player when healthy.
Exactly. And anymore, it's not usually the case. So
he's not like that moron that just left from Brooklyn and went to Dallas who didn't play because he didn't want to play. Do I question sometimes if Kawhi really wants to play? There's probably times he doesn't want to play, but overall, his knee was fucked up. You know what I mean?
Right. And it sounds like he's gotten some weird like treatment and stuff, like starting with San Antonio and things like that. Like there was at some points, at least there were reports that he was going to like sue over bad treatment and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Hey, that's a trend. Michael Thomas was talking about the same thing with the Saints, and guys are winning lawsuits and shit now. So we'll see what happens.
There's that whole thing with Gary Payton too, with the Trailblazers. So
yeah,
there's all that. But I love the move for Westbrook himself as well as the team. I mean, like you said, I've always even the times where like Westbrook has annoyed me because like him and Embiid had a feud for a while and stuff like that. So as a Sixers fan, it's just kind of like fuck that guy. But at the same time, I loved Westbrook.
But honestly, though, if you're gonna hate a guy, that's a legit reason to hate a guy,
right?
Because he wants to go after somebody on your team. I'm all for that. If that's the reason you hate him, perfect. I'm all. When you start hating a guy because they act like a clown and say stupid shit, that's where there's a problem.
Right. Well, not even that. Just like when other people start accusing a guy of stupid shit and then everyone believes it even though it's not true. Like them saying Westbrook is some sort of vampire in the locker room and shit like that. Like,
if and Darvin Ham, he looks like he's got a good head on his shoulders, but he gets into it with Russell Westbrook on that last game he had when I think it was the game LeBron, passed a record and Russ wasn't having any of it because he knows his team sucks.
Right.
And But if Darvin Ham, I mean, he's towing the company line and all this stuff. But you want to know something? He's going to be a victim too.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
you're not telling me that with eBay all of a sudden now, who's going to be floating around, he's not going to draw some interest. And let me tell you something, Darvin Ham. If the Lakers could get their hands on eBay, they'll slit Darvin Ham's throat and throw him in the Pacific Ocean to
oh
get
yeah.
rid of him. They don't care. They could care less.
Oh, I
He was just there because they had nobody else.
exactly. And they wanted to just give somebody a chance, and they were like, "Oh, well, at the end of the day, we have LeBron and Anthony Davis, so like, does it
Right, we're
matter
good.
who we have?" Yeah.
Which now, what you see what's going on because everybody accused Ty Lue of the same shit, but
Yep.
Ty Lue ain't looking that bad now, and LeBron would be in the middle of a circle jerk right now to get Ty Lue back on his team.
Especially the season when like everybody was hurt for the Clippers and he still had them in playoff contention. Like Ty Lue's proven that he can coach. So
Spoelstra, same thing.
yep, Spoelstra as well. I mean, yeah, I just feel as though the moment you're on a team with LeBron, everyone's asshole gets tighter and they really just start to, you know, like bow down because if they don't, they could be cut the next day or traded the next day or fired the next day. Like that's just what it seems like from the outside.
Like, and I get it. I get. Yeah, you have to show respect to LeBron, right? He's
Right.
LeBron, arguably the best player ever. You got to show him respect. However, I feel like his criteria for players is based on personalities and who he's friends with
Yeah.
instead of who is going to give him. I was watching a video of Kobe and he was yelling at Mitch, saying, "Hey, Mitch, these guys are bums. Like, I can't win with these guys." He didn't give two fucks who was in there.
Right.
He just wanted to win. LeBron, if you look historically over the years, he's had those guys that have followed him
Yep.
and haven't been productive. So, and now this is a time like where he's getting all these younger guys and like Lonnie Walkers and Troy Brown Jr. and Austin Reeves, and he's got all these fucking guys on the bench or starting at that. Rui Hachimura, who's barely played this season, who's not bad, but then you got all these guys, and Russell Westbrook ain't looking that bad.
Nope. Now they bring D'Angelo Russell back. I mean,
Is it sad people forget about that he's even with the Lakers again?
and that's the thing. That whole core that they drafted left the Lakers and ended up becoming a much better player than they ever would have been if they stayed on the Lakers. Kuzma got better. Randall got better. Lonzo got better. Russell. I mean, that was like, if you had those four on a team now, that's a pretty solid fucking team.
Yeah, if you had, what would you, did you say Lonzo Ball?
Yeah. So Russell, Lonzo, Kuzma, and Randall. And then, I mean, whoever else was on the team back, I don't even know who their centers were. Probably no one of note. But
the Lakers just love blaming other people.
I know.
I mean, Julius Randle, everybody talks about, he's lazy or this or that, but I mean, people forget he was tight with Kobe, and Kobe was actually working out with him. On all these crazy hours that Kobe was in the gym at 3:30 in the morning,
Right.
and he had a good influence on people. LeBron doesn't have that kind of. I mean, LeBron will get after people, but I don't think LeBron has that. When LeBron leaves his game, he's going home.
Right.
He's not going to Kobe will go to yes, LeBron works hard, he takes care of his body, but I don't think he ever takes that, he's more concerned about staying healthy and getting a massage and flying to the Super Bowl than Kobe would rather go and shoot free throws than to even be caught on a jet and going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, LeBron has the ridiculous basketball IQ and can tell you like the exact moment defenses are going to break down and things like that.
He's
But I
like
feel
Peyton
like
Manning.
right. But I feel like Kobe was more of the one that forced other players to elevate their game to where he is, because not only is he keeping them accountable, not only is he talking the talk, but he's also walking the walk, and he's out there busting his ass. If he gets hurt, he's right back on the court again. As somebody who's playing with the guy, how do you look yourself in the mirror and say like, I can't get back out there because I tweaked my ankle, when you have him walking back out to take free throws on a torn Achilles?
Yeah, most guys who tear their Achilles need to be carried.
Right.
Kobe tears his Achilles. You don't see anything, and he just goes back and shoots his free throws.
Right. Like, as a teammate, how are you gonna say like, nah, I can't go to practice today when you got your team leader doing shit like that?
Right, you can't.
Exactly. But
If my
anyway,
team sucked, I would be caught dead at the Super Bowl. I'll tell you that right now.
hell no. Fuck no. But just a real
Unless I
quick
was going with Genie Bus, then I'm fucking going anywhere.
there you go. Just to move on to the next topic, because we have one more topic after this. Kevin Love going to the Miami Heat. Do you like that move for the team and Kevin? One or the other? Not
I like it for both of them. Love is only 34 years old. He's not young, but he's not like 38.
right.
So he has a couple of years left. When you look at the Heat's roster and who they actually have to roll with at the four a lot of the time, we're talking like Jimmy Butler. I think Caleb Martin goes in and plays the four at times. So they don't really have size.
Right.
Udonis Haslem ain't fucking playing.
And they got rid of Deadman.
And Deadman's gone, and Yurt Seven's supposed to be back from an ankle injury. You know, he's been out since, November. So they're getting size, and then they're adding Cody Zeller. I don't know if they actually confirmed it, but they're adding size, which is what they need. Cody Zeller, I don't think is going to be a guy who's going to be playing a shit ton of minutes, but he might get you like he might be out there when you want to shut some guys down and stuff. Right. Kevin Love, though, I can actually see breaking into the starting lineup at times.
True. Especially matchup wise.
And actually, like, being productive.
Mm-hmm.
Not every night. He's not going to be. But he's still a double-double threat at this point in his career. A low end. I'm not talking 25 and 14. I'm talking 12 and 10.
Right.
12 and 9.
Some threes in there, like
like stupid. Maybe a couple offensive rebounds.
Right.
So I don't hate it at all. I mean, if you look at the guys on the Heat's roster, adding Kevin Love is certainly an upgrade when you have guys who aren't even playing. I'm talking Duncan Robinson, Victor Oladipo's been hurt again. Tyler Hero is not healthy a lot. Kyle Lowry's just whatever. And, and Gabe Vincent, good for him. He's playing well as a starter. But, when you have Max Strus and Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent as your options, especially when you consider how many games Jimmy Butler misses and how Bam is kind of, we'll see what happens, what he does in a playoff, because playoff Bam last year, even though everybody wants to say, oh, Dennis, Bam's great, shit hot. Well, he played like garbage in the postseason. So maybe Kevin Love will even rub off on him in that way. Maybe he'll learn a couple things from Kevin Love. So I think it's a great pickup.
I think it is a great pickup for the Heat. I wish Kevin Love, for his own sake, would have went somewhere else. Or even have stayed with Cleveland, because I feel like Cleveland could still use him off the bench. But they did say that like he was supposed to have a meeting with the Sixers. I think that would have been a very nice fit off the bench, because he's essentially just a veteran upgraded version of Niang. Like Niang is essentially doing what Kevin Love would do off the bench, but Love is a better version of that.
Yeah, but you're also adding a guy though who has a title.
True, exactly. And
I mean, no disrespect to Niang, but that's a significant upgrade.
Oh yeah. No, I completely agree. And Kevin Love is a guy that can actually help be a leader in the postseason and everything, which is something that the Sixers have needed. But he could even be, I think he could even be pretty instrumental if he went to like Sacramento. If he went to, I think he would have been a very nice addition off of Denver's bench too. They probably didn't have the money, but
well, there were rumblings. If Phoenix was interested, that would have been fantastic.
oh yeah, that would have been huge.
That would have been a real good pickup for them. But I don't know. I feel like the Heat's because there's not really, you don't have that like slam dunk anymore in terms of going to a team that's like a clear odds-on favorite to win a championship. Maybe Phoenix has that now.
True.
Boston, maybe.
Right.
But other than that, you can't really say I'm going to go here because my sole intention is just to win a title.
True. I just think Miami realistically isn't a championship contender. Like, not one of, I wouldn't include them in like the top 4 in the East.
Yeah, but I mean, good for him though. If he I think
True.
he just wants to play.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I think it's a great pickup for Miami. I mean, Kevin Love will be impactful no matter where he goes. I just wish it was somewhere that like we could see him really make a deep run because I don't think Miami will. But yeah, all around is a good pick.
Dumber things have happened.
Agreed. We don't have to get super in depth with this tonight because we used a lot of time on bitching about the All-Star weekend. But predictions and outlooks for the rest of the NBA season. I mean, do you see Phoenix rising to the top now with Durant likely coming back somewhat soon? Do you see like any dark horses raising up now? I know you've liked Sacramento and they've been up there in the top half of the West.
And I will throw that out there. Remember when people were giving me shit? I said they could get 45 wins.
Yeah.
And they're pretty goddamn close to it. So
True.
Who's the moron? Not me.
Let's see. Sacramento is
says like 32 wins, I think.
Yep, they're 32-25 right now. They have a winning record both home and away.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah. And so right now the Nuggets in the West, it's Nuggets, Grizzlies, Kings, Clippers, Suns, Mavs to round out the clinched playoff berths. In the play-in, it's the Pelicans, Timberwolves, Warriors, and Thunder. The Jazz have since fallen. Obviously, they were going to at some point. In the East, it's Celtics, Bucks, Sixers, Cavs, Nets, Knicks in the playoff berth area, and then the play-in is the Heat, the Hawks, the Wizards, and the Raptors.
I could see the Raptors making a pretty when they added Portal to the mix.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking pretty goddamn good, which is you and I were both saying forever about they needed a center, like a good center. Yep. So now he's back in, he's familiar with Toronto. He played it with the 905 back in the day. And so
he's really good friends with Siakam.
So they got a good, starting core there. They never ended up moving on from Anunoby. He's still a little banged up, but if he can come back, hopefully. And I love the Raptors. I hope the Raptors. They have the tools.
Gary Trent's been a little banged up too. If he can come back healthier too,
they got a good team, and I think they could climb their way. The Nets are going to fall,
right?
Which I'm just going to say there's going to be a point in time though before the end of the season where Mikal Bridges will be the player of the month for the Eastern Conference. I can see it. So that's one of my things. But I think
the Nets will make the play-in at the very least, though.
Yeah, at the very least. I mean, but whatever. But I think the Raptors are going to surge a little bit. I think they're going to make a climb. I'm still not counting the Warriors out, especially once Steph comes back and they can stay healthy.
Speaking of which, Muhammad here says the Golden State Warriors are about to expose the NBA.
Like, are they going to pull their pants down? What are they doing?
As in, they're going to show that, like, they're still the best.
Well, I said that, a couple weeks ago. And Moron said, well, you're really going on a limb. And I said, well, a lot of people have counted them out. And I'm not counting them out yet.
That's true.
The Celtics look pretty damn good at this point. I was a little wrong about that. Missoula's one hell of a coach. But imagine if the Kings made the Western Conference Finals.
That would be insane.
Sabonis, one of the best players in the league, arguably top five. I'll even go even top five. Definitely top 10. I can argue top five. Sabonis is the real deal.
His
And that
playmaking has just improved so much.
he's amazing. He's one of the best. He's one of the most underrated players in the league by far.
Like it's just crazy to me that he went from in his rookie season, he started 66 out of 81 games, and he put up 5 points, 3.6 rebounds, 1 assist per game. And this season, he's up to 18.8 points, 12.3 rebounds, and 0.1 shy of 7 assists a game. That's crazy.
So I think the East is it'll be Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Philly, Miami, then the Knicks, and then the Raptors.
We'll just do top 6.
Yeah, but I think the Raptors can sneak in there a little bit too.
Okay.
So the Western whatever. Warriors, Kings,
Yeah. I mean, in the East, I essentially have the same. I just think the Sixers will probably end up staying in the 3rd seed. Just because they have a little more experience and superstar power to stay up there. But I think that I could see the Hawks sneaking in to like the 7 or 6 spot too, as long as they all stay healthy at the same time. But obviously John Collins now in the concussion protocol and all the injury issues they've had over the past
John Collins is
month
going to have to wear a Hans device, like they wear in NASCAR.
True. He's going to need something. I mean,
do you got time for a little thing I put together?
Yeah, sure.
Well, remember are we done with this, by the way?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do a little game. Remember,
Okay.
I texted you. My first thing I texted you a couple weeks ago. I brought up Alan Crabb.
Yep.
And nobody was. We both said to each other, "Holy shit! I can't believe he used to play, and everybody just forgot about him."
Yep.
So now I decided to pick another player, some guy you haven't thought of in a long time. But when he comes back to you, you're going to say, "Oh, yeah, I remember him." Right. So, yeah, remember this guy? So I'll give you some clues.
Okay.
All right. So he was drafted by the Bucks.
All right.
Throughout his tenure in the league, he played most of his career with Milwaukee, but he also played for the Kings, the Timberwolves, the Sixers, the Clippers, the Rockets, Clippers, and then back to the Rockets.
Oh, wow.
where he played only 3 games. He finished his career in Houston.
What year was he drafted?
Well, see, I didn't want to give that to you right away because I wanted to challenge you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I will say he played for UCLA.
Okay.
He's a Pac-10 Freshman of the Year. Pac-10 All-Freshman team.
Let's see. And he ended his career on the Rockets.
I'll give you a hint, too, because maybe you might know. He played for the Sixers in, 2014.
Oh, wait. Played for the Sixers in, 2014. So that was right after... That was, right after the time the Sixers beat the Celtics in the playoffs. Or not beat the Celtics. They beat the Bulls when Derrick Rose was MVP. Because if I remember correctly, that was around 2012 when they beat them. So this was right when they were thinking of trading for Andrew Bynum.
This was before the Bellinelli days and the Dario Saric days.
Yeah, well before that. Because 2016 was when Simmons first joined. So
and it might be 2014, 15, around there.
Okay, so 2014-15 was when around Embiid was first drafted and before Embiid started playing. But he went to Houston. And you said he spent most of his time with the Bucks.
Correct. He was drafted by the Bucks.
How many seasons with the Bucks?
He played 5 seasons with the Bucks.
5 seasons with the Bucks.
His career average is 6.4 points and 4.1 rebounds.
Oh,
in 23 minutes per game. He's made over $30 million.
Was he? Did he ever start with the Bucks?
He started, yeah. Not a.
It's not John Henson, is it?
No.
Okay.
He is now an agent.
Now an agent?
Yes. Which I believe he is the agent. Though, and I'm still digging into this, but I think this is correct.
Mm-hmm.
He worked for the same firm that has represented guys like Devin Booker, Jalen Brunson, Seth Curry, Paul George. Daniel Jones was a part of this. He just dropped them yesterday in favor for new representation.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the Bucks.
And he is from the same country as a guy who plays on the Raptors.
Oh, wait, wait. Hold on. Did you say he played with the Clippers?
Yes.
Is it Luke Mbah-a-Moute?
That is correct.
Yes.
Remember him?
Yes. So
that's a name you haven't thought about in a while, I bet.
It's not. And the only reason I can actually tell you the reason the Sixers brought him to Philly. It was because Embiid was having issues working like with rehab and not playing and everything. And Mbah-a-Moute was the whole reason Embiid started basketball in Cameroon. So he actually knew Embiid's family growing up. Had Embiid start playing basketball with the Borders NBA, NBA Without Borders or whatever.
I didn't want to throw Joel Embiid in there because I didn't want to make it like too obvious.
Yeah.
So that's why I went the Raptors direction to kind of throw you off a little bit.
No, if you said Sixers, I probably would have, like, if you did anything with Embiid, I probably would have gotten that a lot quicker. So that was probably a good call. No, I haven't thought of, damn, he really made $30 million in his career.
He did, and I was surprised. Not bad for a guy who played 23 minutes a game.
Not at all.
6.4 points per game.
I didn't know he was an agent. That's pretty cool.
I didn't know either. Don't quote me on that. But I believe he works for it's Creative Artists.
Oh, okay.
Which is probably the top sports agency.
The like CAA or whatever they're called, or
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
No, that was a good one.
Yeah, I like this. We're gonna keep doing. Remember this guy moving ahead.
I agree. That was a good one. That might be good for a little social clip there. Cause have you seen the things on like TikTok and everything where they put it's like so on football they'll do it where you have to guess the team but they show each position and the college the person went to and you have to try and guess the team based on what colleges they all went to.
Do you think I go on TikTok?
Well, it's on like you know how like you post it on TikTok but then it gets posted everywhere. That's just where I saw it. But they do that, and they do this thing. It's like a grid where the top is like one football team and the side is another football team. And you have to guess a player that played for like both teams and like fill out the grid and stuff like that.
So it must have been sandwiched in one of those fat-ass chicks on Instagram then.
Yeah.
You know, some chick swallowing a banana, and then it goes down to another one. And then, you know...
Exactly.
Just because she's only she wanted to eat an entire banana in one because potassium.
Exactly. She was cramping.
Right.
Yeah.
Not for any other reason.
No. Not at all.
She felt like she had to swallow the entire thing whole.
Exactly. Needed it really fast because the cramp was coming on quick.
Right. Which I don't know how, because I put like a quarter, I put like an eighth of a banana in my mouth, and I feel like I'm gonna choke on it.
I just throw that shit in a blender.
I'm gonna have to start doing that.
A lot
I got like,
easier to drink it.
I eat the banana. Next thing you know, I got tears rolling down my eyes, and my fake eyelashes up in the middle of my forehead.
So your OnlyFans isn't that popular.
Only by the guys with the small penises.
Okay. Oh god, but if you don't have anything else, I think that's it for us.
No, I think Luke Richard is pretty good, and then talking about girls swallowing bananas is.
I think that's a good place to stop.
I don't think there's anything else to add.
I agree. I completely agree. But that is it for us. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to another episode of The Atlantic Files, the number one podcast on the number one division in the NBA, brought to you by Underdog Sports Podcast Network. Make sure you check us out. We're Google, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere you can see stream videos, regular videos, and audio podcasts. We are everywhere you get them. Make sure you share with a friend. It helps us greatly. Rate, subscribe, review, do all that good stuff. You know, it's great. It helps us out. It takes you 30 seconds, not even.
It doesn't even fucking take that long.
Exactly. But that is it for us. Muhammad says bye-bye. Goodbye, Muhammad. Thank you for joining us again. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Fucking love that guy.
Same. Peace.